or welcome back. Today I am planting probably like 4 or 5 containers, and the idea is to use less flowers. So I have a few kind of little hacks, one of which I'm trying out first thing are U-hoops that I get and have gotten from Menards, and have been sitting there, but I've painted black because a lot of my containers are black, and this one is one of my garage planters. It's huge, so as you can see it's probably about 18 inches wide, so I used 3, and I had this idea it kind of looks like an arched window. It just gives some sort of height with very little cost, so less than, what would that be, about $5 for all 3 of them. And some of these flowers that had caught my eye this year are ranunculus. I love them. They're so pretty, and I'm not even really putting them in a symmetrical way. I've got 3 different colors. They're in pink, purple, and kind of like a orangish, well, like a red, but they're very cool colored. And I normally don't have very much red at all, just like Laura on Garden Answer. I don't really have a lot of red. However, these really spoke to me in with the pinks. I don't think there's anything cuter than English daisies. And for all of these planters, I'm going to also break down the cost so you know how much each planter is. If you double your containers, so if you have 2 containers flanking a garage, 2 containers flanking a walkway, you're going to be double the cost. So that's why I'm trying to keep these down. And Dusty Miller, so excited every spring when I go there and they have Dusty Miller. I've got little ones, I've got like more advanced ones that are a little bit taller, and they're so inexpensive. They'll start out pretty small. They have kind of impact, but as the months go on, I like to use them through fall and even into winter planters. Depending on the weather, they can either make the winter or not. Usually when they start getting gangly looking, I get rid of them. But I love them for like all seasons. They're just very versatile, fluffy, soft, and they can just add a lot of fill for not a lot of cost. And the reason that I use these arches is, as you can see, I kind of broke the container in like half, well, just like 2/3. I'm only planting the front 2/3. Bam. I just wanted to do that second one real quick, water them in, but there's not a lot of height between the height of the arches and the flowers. So I was so excited at Mariano's. You'll see another pic soon that I got years ago that I love and I use throughout multiple seasons, but they had them again in this bright pink that happened to match the flowers. And they've got little butterflies, and I just kind of wound the wire around a little bit. This might not be everybody's taste, but you can see them from the street and they just make me really happy. Now for another planter along my walkway, I don't want to spend a whole lot because it's just a little planter that I just want a little something there. And here's the other one, except it's got a lot of the yellow, and sometimes I'll do yellow ranunculus because, oh my gosh, they're so happy and pretty. But I didn't this year. So what I'm going to try and do is kind of swing the color a little bit towards the pink. So in the butterfly it's more of like a orange red, but you can kind of swing it towards the pink family because I want all my walkway planters that you'll see lined up in a little bit to kind of all be the same color scheme. So I'm using these sweet little violas that spoke to me, and I want to say they were 4 for $10. So this was one, so there's $2.50. I think this one was $2.50, maybe Lowe's, for all of those little violas. And yep, another ranunculus, because the color is just so pretty. I wanted to plant these up like a week ago, so they're just a little bit beyond when they were first starting to bloom, but that's okay. That's what happens, and they'll still be blooming. But look at that, with the different heights. You got the violas along the bottom, and then it goes up to the ranunculus, and then the butterflies, and then the branches that I frequently have. Now this is a little Easter egg. I couldn't even do an intro. This is the backdrop because I have the hugest haul of plants and flowers that I can't show you yet until next week. I think next week. And I'm probably going to have to be doing bi-weekly videos because I have so many containers. Anyways, these 2 other containers that I have flanking the walkway, it's another double. There I used 2 more of the U-hoops to create kind of like a topiary form. I could have used 1 and then maybe I could have hang like a bird or something from that. I thought that would be fun, but the arboritas are just about at the top of these arches. So I'm adding, this is probably one of the first years I have ever used snapdragons, but the colors spoke to me, and wait until you see the other mix that I have. They're so pretty, but this light pink is going to come in from a number of containers that I'm doing. And I don't know if you go to the store, you go for one thing and then other ones speak to you. Sometimes you just wind up putting your container together and it becomes very underwhelming. You plant it up with what you wanted and you see it in your head, and then you plant it up and it looks like meh. They're still small. There is patience involved when you're planting up any container. It's not going to look like it does, you know, in the pictures right away. Usually they have to settle in and fill in. There's container number 2. So far I'm only using like 4 snapdragons and 4 pansies in that beautiful pink color, which were a little pricey because I got them at a tiny like family owned garden center, but I needed that color pink. So not the traditional ones that all the big box stores had. And then this mix of snapdragons was like one of the main things that grabbed my attention, and I had to have multiple packs because it's like that tropical kind of mix, orange, like cool orange, purple, pink. So I had to use some of those. So now I have 8 snapdragons, and now I'm going to try something here, and that's also something that you got to do. I mean, I do this all the time. I'll put something together, it looks really nice in my head, put it out, and I'm like, oh, so I'm like, no. And I was like, well, I'll finish planting the Spanish, or putting the Spanish moss to kind of fill in that gap so you don't see the soil. And I'm already using the wreaths to kind of, I don't know, add some interest and kind of take up a little bit of room so I don't need as many flowers. But I just couldn't do it. I couldn't leave it there. It looked messy. And even the color of Spanish moss, it's very like gray and pale. I don't know. So anyways, I moved it kind of on top of the wreath. I'm not sure. I'm going to leave one like this. Let me know if you like it better like this, or I'm going to show you the other one in a couple of shots without it. I think I like it better without it. And plus, if you use Spanish moss, I'm just going to tell you, the birds will come and steal it for their nests. They will. So that's the front garage planter. And then the second one that you see is here. I do like using the U-hoops because you can see them both from the garage planter to these. You can kind of see them, so they kind of tie in together, and it adds a little bit more kind of substance to the top. And then this sweet little planter, I didn't want to spend too much on, but I think it turned out pretty cute. I'm happy. And then the butterfly, it's like a spring butterfly theme. If you did see last week's video, I have added a few more flowers for kind of like my weekly change or bi-weekly change. If you haven't, I would suggest you watch this video and you can see how exactly I did this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.